too. Hello, Kane. How do you go about understanding what the market wants and or validating whether your writing resonates with your target audience? Do you find do you advise writing do you advise finding the audience for a work or writing with a specific group of people in mind? Let's probably tackle the first one first.
Mm.
Yeah, how do you go about understanding what the market wants and or validating whether your writing resonates with your target audience?
I'll be honest that sometimes you don't really have to always write what the market wants, because what the market wants today is probably going to be different tomorrow. And like today, it's last year it was superhero films. Now it's alien invasion films, right? So if you're following exactly what the market wants and you're trying to keep up with it, I think you're going to fail. My opinion there would be to look at it from a point of view of like, hey, I see that in terms of like streaming platforms, in terms of markets, there are certain genres here that are really interesting. For example, like I see that there's this emergent interesting horror comedy mix. For example, like the Fear Street thing is really interesting to me. If you've seen Netflix, the recent Fear Street movies, how they've released one movie every single weekend. So they had the first film on a Saturday, the next week they released a sequel, and the next one they released the third film. For me, that's interesting. Like, so I would be like, okay, what if I start developing a film where I could create a trilogy as opposed to that? But I wouldn't be looking at, oh, let me create like something like Fear Street. I wouldn't be like that. So I'm looking at the way it's being distributed, at the way that it's being packaged, the way it's being designed from a strategic point of view, as opposed to like genre and stuff, because that will change. That will definitely change. Yeah, and in terms of like validating whether it resonates with the target audience, it comes from research. So you're gonna have to like go into like the type of people that love this film and to figure out what they really love about it. So if you go to Netflix right now and you just write horror, you will see like a bunch of stuff that comes out. It's horror school life, or like horror 1960s, or horror slasher, horror gore slasher, horror, light horror, soft horror. There's tons of it. You're gonna have to figure that out. But I think research and figure out and really ask the question, for that audience that loves that genre, what do they love about it? Like, what is the thing that really they love to see? And if you don't have those things, then you're kind of like, you're not doing your research, like you're not writing the story that will meet that market demand, right? It doesn't mean you be formulaic. No, you can have fun with it. You can twist it around and present it in a very fresh way, which I think is the goal. But you should at least do research into like, what do they love about that? And you can do it face to face. You can ask people. You can go online tomorrow and do a search. And there's a website, I think it's called like I don't know, writingtropes.com or something. Like there's basically all the tropes there of every single genre, and you can like figure out like these are the things that I pretty much need.